Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Ketogenic Fasting Project. My name is Tom, and tonight I'm talking about 5 reasons why people are afraid to go on an animal-based diet. Some of this goes back to just being on a low-carb diet, but obviously I've had more than one conversation about this with people, and of course participated in quite a few dialogues online with people I don't even know, but it often comes up with people I do know. So, anyways, one of the first things people say is they can never give up bread. I get it. Most people eat bread pretty much every day, their whole life. Crackers, bread, muffins, cake, whatever, Twinkies. I get it. People enjoy it. They look forward to it. And some people would make the argument that wheat has essentially tricked mankind into propagating it because some of the compounds found in wheat are actually opiate-like, and they stimulate our pleasure center, and that's probably one of the reasons why it was a favorite choice of human beings. So bread is definitely part of most cultures. It has a long history, as I recall reading, even back um, during the Egyptian dynastic times, people bragged about who had the whitest bread. So, yeah, Wonder Bread is not really all that new in concept because different societies argued about whose bread was the whitest and most refined, thousands of years ago. So there you go. But there is life after bread. I haven't had any bread in a long time. I can actually sit down, order a sorry about that. I can actually sit down, order a hamburger, a regular hamburger, and not eat the bread. I could leave the bread behind. Doesn't really bother me. So the farther away from it you get, the easier it is. I know it seems like a big deal, but truth is, once you start eating a nice, satisfying meal of just meat, your cravings for those things go away. Day by day, they get to be less and less. Which leads me to the second reason why people think or people feel afraid to try an animal-based diet, and that is that they can't give up sweets. I know a lot of people are used to having some candy or some pastries or some soda or something like that. I used to drink soda, oddly enough, a lot of times when my stomach didn't feel quite right, I'd go get a soda because it kind of settled it. And I think that kind of that was one of the reasons that made soda pop, all those fizzy drinks popular. Supposedly Pepsi was originally formulated to be a remedy for dyspepsia. Same thing with Dr. Pepper and so on and so forth. So a lot of these sort of fizzy sweet drinks were digestive aids. And so, I think in the back of my mind, I thought, well, I don't feel quite right. Lunch didn't agree with me or whatever. Go get a Coke or whatever. So I get it. Some people use that as their pick me up, just like people use coffee. Most of your cola drinks have caffeine in them. So I get it. It's a part of life. It's a lot of people use that as incentive. If I do this or that, I behave. I can have that. I get it. But again, those things fade, and when you feel better and you feel healthier and you stop having digestive problems, you stop having aches and pains, you stop having brain fog, then those things become far less important. And of course, there's this feedback loop. When you consume carbohydrates regularly, you do get a signal from your digestive tract, from the microorganisms breaking down the carbohydrates. Once they start running out of carbohydrates to break down, they send a chemical signal back up to the brain, hey, go get some more carbohydrates. So once you break that cycle, that's a whole nother sort of incentive to eat these foods that disappears. So that's 2 of the 5 reasons why people seem to be afraid to try an animal-based diet. And so number 3 is people often say, I've been eating this way my whole life, how can I change, And I think the incentive there is really kind of 2 methods. One, with any lifestyle change, developing some curiosity helps. When you read about the success or the positive benefits that other people have had and the potential that people reach, I think that makes it enticing for an individual to give it a try, even if it's just temporary. And if you take that first step and you give it a little try, then it becomes much easier to continue on, because you start feeling better, you start reaping the rewards, as it were, and you realize you achieved something, you did something, you made a change, and that emboldens you to try something else, for your own good. It makes you feel good, so it replaces the food that you used to depend on to try and make you feel good, because oftentimes those foods lead to feeling worse later, right? So that's number 3. I've been eating this way my whole life. How am I going to possibly change? Just give it a try. I mean, what's going to happen? If you got to eat some ho-hos and ding-dongs and drink some yoo-hoo or whatever. So what if you scrap it for a day or 2, try something else, So that takes me on to number 4. A lot of people say, oh, I love fruit. I learned to eat fruit too. I like fruit. Man, sorry about that. I thought I was doing the right thing. I think different people, gravitate towards different fruit. I mean, eating banana, it's sweet, especially when it's just the right ripeness. Everybody probably has their own level of ripeness. They're like, it's an enjoyable food to eat, and we think it's good for us. Same thing with apples. I've said it before. I used to believe apple a day kept the doctor away, but apparently it just gave me arthritis and made my autoimmune diseases flourish. So kind of learned that lesson the hard way. And if you learn to love fruit, you can learn to love something else. And I don't really know that we need to have a love affair with our food, I mean, we need nourishment, we need energy, we need the building blocks to continue to replace cells in our body and stuff like that. But do we really want to live to eat? I don't think so. I don't think that's a great goal. That's why I'm starting to think a lot of all the fancy cooking and stuff that people do is kind of a departure from where we should really be headed. I mean, it's one thing if you've got to eat food that's unappealing and you need to fix it up somehow. I get it. And I think that's where a lot of that originates, is making do with something less. But there's a lot more enjoyable things in life when food's not a problem anymore. So I know, first world problems, right? So that leads me directly to point number 5. I love vegetables. Well, nobody's saying you can't eat vegetables or fruit. Doesn't mean you can't ever have some sort of sweet or something. But a lot of times when people give up vegetables for a while, they realize the problems they're creating, whether it be something like spinach, leafy greens that cause digestive issues. A lot of people on the autistic spectrum have problems eliminating oxalates. A lot of people are allergic to nightshades and stuff like that. So sometimes people give up the vegetables that they think they love. And I'll be honest with you, a lot of people I see that does, oh, I love vegetables, eating these salads, doing all these dressings and stuff like that on it. And, they're putting seed oils and stuff like that. Everything from, balsamic vinegar and olive oil to, ranch dressing made out of soybean oil and canola oil and stuff that's not good for you anyways. So, you know, hey, I don't know. The thing is that you don't need them, and if you give them a break and see if you feel better and you get healthy, or at least you cut them back to just the ones you know that your body can digest well and not create any problems for you, you might find out that you actually feel better, or you feel healthier, and you have fewer aches and pains, stuff like that, fewer digestive issues. Because there's a whole weird thing with a lot of the digestive issues. There's this kind of, oh, stay away from red meat, eat more fruits and vegetables. A lot of times it just makes it worse. There's a study that showed that most of the people with idiopathic chronic constipation, they gave them, put people on a high fiber diet, and only about 23% of those people had an improvement. Many of them had a worsening. So, eating more fiber might help some people. And clearly in that study, it did help some people, but they were a minority. Yeah, when you watch all the TV commercials and read all the articles, you think that, oh, fiber is the be all end all of digestion, and it's really not. Thousands of people now are on carnivore diet. They don't eat any fiber, and they don't have any digestive issues. They don't have any problem with constipation. So I think that might be hard for people to understand, that you don't have to have fruits and vegetables in your diet, and that these fruits and vegetables might actually be causing, or worsening some of your health problems. So, just consider it. Try it. Try a different diet. And it's drastically changing any diet can cause some, stomach upset or dysregulation or something like that. But you should fairly quickly adjust to your new diet, especially if you just kind of gradually move over. I mean, I don't think it's generally a good idea for people to drastically change their diet suddenly unless they have a really compelling reason. But it just doesn't seem to make sense. So, but consider it. Just consider it. There's lots of studies out there. So anyways, appreciating the support I get. Let me know what you think of the video. I'm trying to do some shorter videos for people to watch and enjoy. And so if you could subscribe, hit the like button, the little bell, so you get a notification when a new video comes out. Come join us on Facebook at Autistic Carnivores and the Ketogenic Fasting Project, or the Meat Cult, or Carnivores Beating Autoimmune Disease, or Carnivory and Keto, or lots of other great groups on there. I appreciate it. Thank you for watching, and feel free to leave the comments. Let me know how I can make better videos, or how we can start better conversations.